I'm Jules. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to look at overcoming obstacles, stress, depression, and give you an understanding of why we are the way we are and why we're experiencing these difficulties. I've got over 20 years experience in mental health and 30 years experience in self-development. I'm a psychotherapist. And I've had to overcome so much in my life and trauma that I can offer this help and support to you now. And I feel really grateful to share this. Firstly, we're going to go back to look at in the beginning of when we were born, we were perfect. But over the years, through our conditioning, through our caregivers and events and things that happen to us, we internalize the experiences and we develop beliefs about ourselves, such as I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I'm unimportant. Also, we develop beliefs about the world, such as the world is unsafe. And we can then have thoughts around this that create anxiety, depression, due to these fears about ourselves, the world, and also we can have these with other people, that people cannot be trusted. In CBT terms, this is called core beliefs, and person-centered, they're called conditions of worth. So developing these conditions in environments where we would have been probably fearful as a child, it would develop an anxious attachment, we can become ambivalent, and these will impact us in the here and now. So for instance, imagine if you grew up in a household where your parents were arguing all the time. You would have relied on your caregivers for love, for nurturing and support, for that stability to grow as a healthy adult. But if you grew up in an environment where there was fear based on your caregivers and the arguing, or maybe you experienced shouting, or you were told you were stupid, don't do that, you would have then internalized this with thoughts about yourself, like we said earlier. So developing these thoughts, you grow up thinking that it's something about you, not about your parents, because you're a child and we're relying on our caregivers for this love and for this nurturing. If we didn't receive the love and nurturing with those words that maybe were more harsh, and not coming from a loving, nurturing place, we would have these feelings that would be holding and they would be stored in our nervous system, in the part of our brain called the amygdala. And the amygdala is our emotional brain in the limbic system. And this is where we can respond in the here and now if we're in relationships or in situations similar to those that we experienced when we were younger. They can trigger us in the here and now to these fearful states or anxious states or feeling really sad and depressed, and necessarily not knowing why and connecting them to why we're feeling and responding in this way now in relationships or in the world. So let me just summarize. So the experiences and negative events that we happen in our younger years, our brain is not fully developed and we cannot rationalize these. So we develop core beliefs about ourselves and about our worth, other people in the world, based on events that's happened. I do want to add that this is not our parents' fault. Whatever happened to us in our years, throughout our life, they only done the best to their ability with the tools and the skills that they were given from their parents, and rather generations, they were just sent down further and further. But there is hope. So you can overcome these. So this is the understanding of why we've got anxiety, depression, and why we have fearful states and we struggle in relationships. It could also spill over into the workplace and with not necessarily relationships, but with friends, with family, and also beliefs about ourselves and necessarily our ability to achieve. It may stop us from living the life we truly want to live. But I would reach out and I would seek therapy. And not just with any therapist, because talking therapy, you could be in therapy for a long time. And I've had clients myself who have been in therapy with other therapists for years. But EMDR therapy really targets the nervous system. So whatever you're experiencing with your therapist, you would look at what's going on for you in the here and now. What's blocking you from living the life that you want? What's triggering you in the here and now? What's making your life so difficult and miserable that you're not actually happy and content with where you are? And that's where you want to be. So having EMDR therapy and reaching out for this, you will work out and look at, okay, where these events in your life, what are you not at peace with? Do you think about certain people in your life? Are there certain memories that pop up into your mind? Do you have feelings around certain things, whether it's doing something, going somewhere, maybe flying, you have a fear of flying, driving, whatever this block might be? Is it relationships? So you'd look at where this come from and then process this with EMDR therapy. EMDR therapy is an 8-phase protocol using bilateral stimulants. And bilateral stimulants is connecting the two parts of the brain, the amygdala and the hippocampus, in the limbic system, and filing the distress that you're getting triggered by now via your senses. So whether it's sight, sound, touch, smell, taste, this is where we'll be getting triggered from, the events. But these are from the past events, but you're getting triggered in the here and now. And once we use the bilateral stimulants connecting a light bar, or people would have tappers where you're following with your eyes and holding tappers in your hand, it connects the two parts of the brain and it files all this distress. It will slowly become more adaptive as you're processing. So you'll do some re-experiencing as you're filing the information. You might notice different emotions arise and they decrease. You can have different images and thoughts as well, and physical sensations. But this will slowly become more neutral as you're processing. And we look at getting this down to 0. So as you can recall the event or the person, that you're not bothered. This is then a fully processed target memory where you can think about it and be neutral. You'll have no response to the memory physically, emotionally, or psychologically. If you want to know more about EMDR therapy, you can find out more on my website, www.freedomwithin.co.uk. I hope you've enjoyed this video today, understanding more about why we are the way we are and how anxiety, depression, stress and trauma is developed, but also equally how we can overcome this and live the life we truly want to live with peace, joy and happiness, and achieving all that we want to achieve. Also look on the EMDR Association because they have accredited therapists on there. I would only seek an accredited therapist for EMDR therapy with many years experience so they know exactly how to work with you, because there's various protocols, and as we know that we all learn via experience. So it's important to seek someone who's accredited, can help and work with you through your process. Or please do reach out and contact me with any questions that you might have. I'll be happy to help and answer any questions for you. And I wish you all the best on your journey.